Why no military on Earth could survive invading the United States? And I've got James, who's also a military expert.
Yeah, I'm a 5-star general in the British Army.
Exactly. We both come from a city in the UK that's like probably the biggest naval city in the UK, so I think we will judge this accurately if we could invade the United States. But we're going to get straight into this one. If you're new to the channel, I'm Lewis, I react to stuff. Of course, I'm British, and this is James. Yeah, let's get into it.
Picture every country as a medieval castle, complete with towering walls, secret traps, and all sorts of defenses to protect the crown. In this scenario, the United States stands out as the toughest castle in the world. So, when someone asks, what would it really take to invade the United States? It opens up a fascinating conversation about how geography, demographics, and military strength come together to make the US one of the hardest countries to invade in modern history. But to understand why invading America is so difficult,
they've only got Canada and Mexico,
we need to start with
haven't they?
what makes invasions successful in the first place.
They're safe.
Military historians.
Here's a fun fact. In the year 1812, we sailed up the river and we burnt down the White House. So
yeah, it was me and Lewis.
So we've answered the question to this video.
No, but that wasn't an invasion though. That was just like a raid.
Yeah.
I think geography-wise, like America has got superior geography.
Yeah.
You've got 2 land borders and then 2 massive oceans either side. So if you control the waves, you're good.
I forgot to mention, James loves geography and I love history. So we're just this video with experts, you know.
Point to several key factors: the element of surprise, manageable supply lines, and crucially, the ability to establish a foothold and expand from there. It just so happens that America's unique geographic position eliminates almost every advantage that has made invasions in the past possible. Let's start with the most obvious barrier: the oceans. The United States sits between 2 of the world's largest bodies of water. The Atlantic Ocean stretches roughly 3,000 miles to Europe, while the Pacific spans an even more formidable 5.
Did you know Germany sent a letter to Mexico to invade the United States?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't be bothered to go over. And that was one of the reasons why the United States invaded Germany 4 years later.
5,000 miles to Asia. But it's not just about distance, it's about what that distance means for a would-be invader. You see, modern naval warfare depends heavily on supply chains, fuel, and the ability to maintain communication across vast distances. Any naval force attempting to cross either ocean to invade America would be operating at the extreme limits of its logistical capabilities.
2 aircraft carriers.
Consider this:
not enough planes.
the D-Day invasion, one of the most successful amphibious assaults in history, involved crossing just 100 miles of the English Channel.
So one of the bases where the D-Day started was from our city that we're from, and yeah, so it's got quite important city, haven't we?
Yeah, there's a lot of bunkers and everything around there as well. So like when you walk along the beach, you can see like old World War II bunkers. And apparently, speaking to my nan,
And castles.
Yeah, and castles. But like, speaking to my nan, like when she was younger, she must have been about 5 years old or something. Like, because it was a blackout during the war, so the planes would be flying so low because they don't know where the ground is. That planes, they were flying over houses and everything.
Yeah, we had what was it? A lot of people talk about the Americans coming over to our city in southern UK. Apparently all the girls love the Americans.
Yeah, going to the bars, dancing, whilst all our blokes are away.
Roughly speaking, it required approximately 156,000 Allied troops, around 5,000 ships, and months of preparation, all supported by established bases in Britain. Now imagine scaling that operation across 3,000 to 5,000 miles of open ocean, with no friendly territory to stage from. The logistics behind such an invasion become even more daunting when you consider detection. Modern satellite surveillance, radar networks, and maritime patrol aircraft make it virtually impossible to move large naval forces without anybody noticing. Any invasion fleet would be spotted days, if not weeks, before reaching American shores, giving US forces more than enough time to prepare defensive positions. But what about launching an invasion from neighboring countries? After all, the United States shares borders with Canada and Mexico. Surely that creates
Get the cartel.
vulnerability, right?
I'm pretty sure they're already doing that.
Unfortunately for
right?
any invader, they're deeply integrated into American military and economic systems. Canada is a NATO member and one of America's closest security partners. Mexico, while not in NATO, has extensive military cooperation agreements with the US and depends heavily on American trade. For any hostile nation to use these countries as invasion routes, they would first need to conquer or coerce them. In other words, they would essentially have to launch two separate military campaigns before even reaching American
Canada
territory.
could just join the United
This
Kingdom
would require
again.
force projections of unprecedented scale and would trigger immediate
think they
American
would.
response. But let's imagine
Although we want to invade
hypothetically
America.
that all of that somehow became possible. Even then, the geographic challenges are staggering. An invasion from the north would have to cross the Canadian Shield, a massive
those
area
Great
of
Lakes.
rocky terrain and forests, then navigate the Great Lakes region. The US military could easily cut supply lines by controlling key transportation hubs like Winnipeg or Thunder Bay, effectively isolating any northern advance. From the south, invaders would face a large concentration
UK
of
military
American
could do
military
this?
power.
No.
Recent deployments have
It's
placed
skillful, we're
thousands of
skillful,
American
but
troops along
just
the
not many of
Mexican
us.
border.
We're just poorly
Any
resourced.
large-scale military
It's quite unfortunate, but the UK military is getting cut every year.
Yeah.
And we have very high trained soldiers, but we just don't have enough.
And I'm pretty sure as well there's like stories from Afghanistan and Iraq where American and British troops were working side by side, and the British troops got like a reputation for, can we just borrow that bit of kit? Can we borrow that bit of kit? Because we've got no kit of our own, so we rely so heavily on
Americans
America.
funding, yeah. It's
But
a
like-
shame. I think our standard army, this is like our not reserve, but just our army is like less than 100,000 now.
Yeah.
Less than 100,000 men. I'm pretty sure America is like 1 or 2 million at least, and that's not reserves.
Yeah.
military movement would once again be detected immediately, and the attacking force would have to advance through some of the most challenging terrain in North America, including the Sonoran and Chihuahuan deserts. But here's where America's defensive advantages become even more pronounced. Let's say the invading force somehow established a foothold on American soil. They would immediately confront what you could call a natural defensive line. The United States is essentially divided by a series of geographic barriers that would force any invading army to
I'm trying to
fight
go for the
for
desert as
every
well.
mile of advance.
But I think, yeah, geography is probably the main aspect, which will make it nearly impossible, but also, yeah, the size and the capability of your military. But then also, I swear there's more guns in like America.
You'd have Americans just
like,
on top of these mountains, like
just like random people walking around carrying guns. So like
when the UK just have knives, we just stab each other.
Yeah. But like, even if you somehow get past all the military, you've got the everyday American person with like access to so many firearms, plus the police, everything. I don't know.
That's why Poland has really got really bad geography, because Poland, it's just all flat. It's like a flat tunnel that goes from like Northern Europe, from Russia into Poland, into like Germany, and there's no defences. Like at least France, it's flat there as well at the top, but at least they have the the Rhine.
Forest and a few rivers and stuff,
They still lost in World War II though, didn't they? Surrendered.
Rocky Mountain chain runs like a spine through the western part of the country, creating natural choke points that favor America. The Mississippi River system divides the country into distinct regions, each requiring separate river crossings under fire. Military history shows us how devastating river crossings can be. During the Civil War, battles like Fredericksburg and Antietam demonstrated the enormous casualties that result from forced river crossings against prepared defenses. Now imagine attempting such crossings against modern military technology. Precision artillery, air support, and guided munitions, all directed by satellite surveillance and real-time intelligence. There is absolutely no shot of sustaining an invasion in this case. But perhaps America's most unique defensive advantage is its civilian population, specifically its relationship with firearms. The United States has the highest rate of civilian gun ownership in the world, with 120.5 firearms for every 100 civilians. To put that
That's
into
insane.
perspective,
Yeah.
Switzerland only has 27.58 firearms for every 100 civilians.
Wow.
This creates a scenario that military planners would probably call a strategic nightmare. It's one
Yeah.
thing to defeat a conventional army. It's different to occupy
why
a
we lost in
territory where a
Iraq.
significant portion of the civilian
Afghanistan,
population is
sorry.
armed and more than likely
Why?
We lost in Afghanistan, didn't we? Because everyone was like, they weren't a conventional army. That's what I
Yeah,
mean.
that's true. Yeah, I suppose guerrilla warfare.
So we didn't lose Iraq, we lost Afghanistan.
hostile.
Tactical
History
blunder.
provides sobering examples of what
blunder.
this looks like. The Soviets in Afghanistan, the Americans in Iraq, and various
Okay.
other occupations throughout the 20th century demonstrate that even the world's most powerful militaries struggle against determined civilian resistance. About
That guy ain't gonna do
72% of
anything.
American gun owners cite protection as their primary reason for ownership, suggesting a population
They have every right to
already mentally
protect.
prepared for defensive scenarios.
Think about all the
Then
crime and
there's
stuff
the
that goes
simple
on as
matter
well.
of
Like you'd
scale.
have to police that.
The United
on top.
States covers approximately 3.7 million square miles, making it the third largest country in the world by land area. It is larger than Australia, which has an area of about 2.9 million square miles. The US is more than twice the size of the European Union, which covers around 1.7 million square miles.
Wow.
Additionally, the US is roughly comparable in size to the entire continent of Europe, which has an
Yeah.
area of about 3.
Pretty sure the UK is the size of one state, right? Like Michigan.
Oh yeah, less than that. I'm pretty sure you can probably. I think Texas is like 3 times the size of the UK.
And we're still inviting people to the UK. We've got like 65 million people. Imagine that.
Well, I wouldn't say inviting, but
Texas has like how many people? No, Texas has like 10, 15 million, I think.
no, they got more than that.
20?
No, like 40, 50 million, I think.
I don't know
I think
about that.
California's got like 100 million in it.
0.9 million square miles. The distances involved are shocking from a military perspective. The distance from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles is about 2,700 miles.
You've driven that in a van, haven't you? That far?
Yeah, but not in us, not in America.
Not in America.
I did it in Australia.
Did it in Australia.
It's the
He's driven
equivalent-
it, so
yeah.
if he can do it, then a tank column can do it.
I don't know. I ran out of fuel halfway, but yeah.
In order to sustain any kind of invasion on America, the occupying force would need to maintain supply lines across these vast distances.
And also, like, you civilians with guns can supply yourself with barbecue.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
endless barbecues to feed the civilians and just take pot shots to the army. I imagine the EU invading as well, like,
They won't have a chance.
wouldn't have a chance. Wouldn't even get to the shores.
No.
I think it'd be pretty hard to invade the UK still, because we're an island.
Don't know.
It would still be hard.
They're not stopping the boats.
While facing constant harassment from both organized military resistance and civilian populations. Modern military thinking focuses on quick and decisive actions because long campaigns can get really expensive and hard to manage. Given the vast size of the United States, pulling off a rapid takeover is pretty much impossible, and keeping troops in place for a long time would cost a fortune. Consider the economic cost for America during the Iraq and Afghanistan campaigns. Both campaigns involved
it's a lot
far
of money.
smaller territories and populations, but still cost the United States trillions of dollars over 2 decades. The scale required to occupy a territory the size
Growing up,
of
you just saw
America
that in the news
would
every day,
dwarf
didn't you?
these figures by orders
What?
of magnitude.
The war.
Of course,
Right.
there's one last factor: nuclear weapons. The United
Yeah, I
States
forgot about
maintains
nukes.
one of the world's largest nuclear
But
arsenals.
then why would you want to
An
invade
American
a country
nuclear
if you just
doctrine
nuke it?
makes it clear that existential threats to the homeland
No, they
would
can use
likely
it against
trigger
us.
nuclear response. This creates what is also known as mutually assured destruction. Any conventional invasion large enough to threaten American territory would likely escalate to nuclear conflict long before achieving its objectives. This reality fundamentally changes the calculus for any potential adversary that is thinking about invading America. So, to return to our original question, what would it really take to invade the United States? The
The whole
answer to
world.
that question reveals why no serious military strategist considers a conventional invasion of America a viable option. It simply just wouldn't be worth it.
Could do it in
But
EMT.
what do you think? Where do you think America stacks up in terms of now?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I sort of had a feeling going into this video that it would pretty much be impossible to invade.
Obviously, we're from the UK, so we're our minds are like thinking to our army, where it's like really small and.
Yeah,
But
I think America, in terms of like geography, population, economy, size, everything, it's just this superpower. You probably can't invade it. The only weakness would be like within.
Anyway, on that note, that was why no military on Earth could survive invading the United States. I appreciate you guys watching, and see you for the next one.
Bye.
Bye.